Welcome, Armchair Generals, Weekend Warriors, and Saturday Soldiers alike. This is Ostentatious Listeners, and welcome back. After an ungodly amount of time, I have returned, and yes, as is par for the course for me, I'm starting an entirely new series. This is Uplink. However, this is not the original Uplink. The original was launched 23rd of August 2006. Released by Introversion Software. It's a brilliant game, very simple really, just about very basic hacking. Not sure if any of it would actually be applicable in the real world, but it's a pretty good game. At the moment, you can pick it up on Steam. There's no store page. You can pick it up on Steam for $14.50 Australian, and it's about a 58 megabyte download. Now, the version of Uplink I am playing is called UplinkOS, which is a reimagining. It's the same meat, the same bones, just a different skin. It's so beautiful. I definitely recommend playing the original Uplink and then playing this. There's so many quality of life improvements. There's so much. It's just an easier game to play. It's a more modern version of the same game, which is quite nice. And if you are interested, however, there is an free mod, pretty much again, complete redesign of the game, called OnLink. And it is, I will say the one main drawback of the game is it feels unfinished. It feels very basic. The end state of the game does not take a lot of work to reach. As you'll see, the best equipment and the best programs you get don't actually require. There isn't a great tier to climb. OnLink actually changes quite a bit of that. Just going by memory, it's been quite a few years since I've played that. But there's more gateways, there's more parts. One of the things, for instance, you can get gateways that have security slots, and this base game has 2 security slots, a self-destruct and a motion tracker. But you don't need more than one of those. You can't blow your computer up more than once, and you can't motion track, motion tracking is a pretty useless thing to have multiple operations of. So, yeah. What else is there? Then... Sorry that I've just not had it in me to do anything, but hopefully I'm back, and hopefully, I know I always say this is this is going to be the start of more consistent recording, so fingers crossed. But without further ado, let's get shit done. Also, the music in this is just fucking beautiful. Welcome to the Uplink Public Access Server. Uplink Corporation maintains the largest list of freelance agents in the world. We've operated for the last decade with a flawless record of satisfied customers and successful security experts. Our company acts as an anonymous job center, bringing corporations together with agents who can work for them. We also provide rental of essential gateway computers to all agents, which allows unparalleled security in a high-risk environment. You are here because you wish to join this company. And you've got 2 options here. Go back to that or register. Your Uplink membership pack includes a gateway computer at a secure location. You'll connect to this machine from your home computer when you are working for Uplink. You can have it upgraded at a later stage if necessary. Very necessary. A low interest loan of 3,000 credits. They say low interest, it's 20% interest, but to be fair, there are some banks, at least on some accounts I've seen, you can do some bank hacking. They charge 40% interest, which is insane. With the Uplink International Bank to get you started. Access to our bulletin board system, the usual place for Uplink agents to find work. In all honesty, you just need to use this to get, in my opinion, you just need to do this to get enough money to start hacking banks, and as long as you're good enough and quick enough, you're in the money. You'll sometimes find some accounts will have like 120 million credits transferred to them, and with a log deleter, to erase the proof of you transferring, which I kind of forgot recently when I was replaying and got caught. You can basically just transfer all the money in the game into your account. One thing I want to see if I can find and actually I probably should explain my contact for this later, I want to see if I can find other uplink agents and hack into their accounts and steal all their money. You will be officially rated as an uplink agent, and we will monitor your progress. As your rating increases, you will find new avenues of work available. Now, the most unique part about this game is the main story campaign, completely optional. You can go the entire game without ever engaging with the campaign. It results in the bad ending. There's a good ending and a bad ending, but you can the moment you start, you can just do whatever the fuck you want. So what I will be doing is I won't be getting involved. I will just try and monitor the situation. I'll also try and get a feel for how long I have, because I completed the game of both, doing it. The good ending and the bad ending years ago, but it's been years. And then I'll do the bad ending and then the good ending. As far as I remember, the good ending is so much harder to get because you're actively working against. I don't want to spoil it, but you're actively working against the bad guys. So, yeah. When you're playing as the bad ending, though, you're actually just actively working against passive security systems. It's actually quite easy. Now, username. I've thought about this one. Janus. Now, Janus, for those of you who do not know your Roman mythology, was the god of the two-faced god, which is not to say he was duplicitous. I mean, he probably was. He was Roman and a god, but he has two faces, one looking forward and one looking back. A god of foresight and a god of reflection, of endings and beginnings. Also, if I remember correctly, doors for some reason. The Uplink Corporation will not ask for any more personal details. In the event you will be charged with illegal operations. I heard the drum, I'm like, what the fuck is that beeping sound? Our corporation will be forced to disavow all knowledge of your actions. However, you will be safe from arrest as your real world address will never be stored. Truly, the freelance hacker group has better privacy protection than most corporations. Now, choose location to work. You can go LA, oh yeah, they pop up. Chicago, New York, London, Moscow, Tokyo, Hong Kong, and Sydney. Now, actually this does matter in the base game because all of this is your world map. So if let's just say I want to hack into Joe Blogg's bank, Joe Blogg's international bank, sorry, it could be, the node could be here and you connect it. The nodes really have no bearing on it and the physical location doesn't matter, but it gives you a nice visual representation. UplinkOS does something completely differently, and on the one hand, I love it, on the other hand, it's aggravating. Now, I will be picking Sydney, because Australia. Oh yeah, Uplink Corporation has offices all around the world. Please take a nearby location for your gateway. You will dial into this location when you use Uplink. In theory, just gonna put this out here, if I was a hacker in, say, Vietnam, I'd want to set up an uplink account in, say, Brazil, where I've got an entire half a world separating me from me. Might have to turn the sound down depending on how this sounds. Gonna have to look back at this in post. Registration is now taking place. As a part of your membership, we will assign you a gateway computer system in your chosen server room. This will act as your jumping-off point for the rest of the net. When you next log in, you will connect directly from your home computer to this gateway machine, and from there to the rest of the world. To infinity! Should any of... Oh, shit. It just occurs to me I should have called my agent Excelsior, which is Latin for ever higher. Should any of your actions be traced back to your gateway, Uplink Corporation will disavow any knowledge of your actions and will destroy your account. Your gateway machine will also be destroyed. Rental of your gateway computer costs 300 credits a month. Now, I just want to point out, they will blow up your gateway computer if the feds find you, or if Interpol, let's just call it Interpol, find you. They won't charge you. They won't say, you owe us fucking money for the tech you got destroyed because you're a wanker. Just a thought. One of the security measures you get is, the self-destruct, if you are quick enough, and this is why you use the self-destruct in concert with the motion tracker. You should never need to use this if you are careful enough, and I will show you all how to be careful. But if someone is detected near your computer, you jam the fucking self-destruct button as hard as you can. It blows up your top-of-the-line gateway, and you start with the basic model, but it's basically a free life if you are quick enough on the button. So, I just crank this down a little bit. There we go. Right. Now, hopefully, that is better. UplinkOS successfully installed. Okay. Your gateway computer has been successfully set up and will accept only your username and password in the future. When you next start Uplink on your home computer, you will be connecting automatically to this gateway. In your email, you'll find a message from Uplink Corporation, some useful IP addresses, with some useful IP addresses. You'll also find the Uplink test machine, which will allow you to practice hacking. Would you like to run the tour guide? Yes, even though I don't need it. But first, save. Now, by and large, this game and the original, pretty stable. I had a pretty nasty crash to desktop though, so yeah. And I hadn't saved at all. When you quit out, both log out of the Uplink machine to go back into the account select and completely close out the game in the menu, it saves. But when it crashes, it doesn't save. And I hadn't done that, so I lost a fair deal of progress. So, righto. Now, before I do this, actually, I'll save that for next time. Righto. Welcome to UplinkOS Agent. This tour will guide you through everything you need to know about the next update, about the new update, and how to be a successful security expert. You can reposition this window. Whoa. Only window, as far as I'm aware, you can't reposition is this one, which is kind of bullshit. Gonna need to get a pen and paper later on, but there's a lot of times where you need to write down shit like IP addresses, bank account numbers, times and dates, and if you're being actively traced, and I usually have my program window open here, if you can pause the game and punch in your digits, you know, that'll be pretty sweet, but you can't actually see a lot of shit through this, so. At the top of your screen, you will find the system bar, which allows you to access your gateway settings, your account information, and task manager. Of the app manager, it's called. This also just shows your current location and time, also my bank account. At the bottom of the screen, the apps menu, the files manager, and email client. Also, notes. Something for later. I hosted. More will be available there upon purchasing the necessary upgrades. In the top right corner, you have the connection map. See what I mean? You're always at the center of this map, and I like it. I really do. I just do kind of miss the world map. It added a little dimension of fun. You have the connection map. You will use it extensively to connect to servers pointed at by your employers through connection bounting to help with your anonymity. Now, one of the things I'm going to do, probably the first thing I have to do, I'm going to go into this, which is basically the white pages of the internet. It has all of the IP, well, most of the IP addresses in the game in it. First thing I'm going to do is just pull out all of the things like there's a few government databases and banks and favorite those, which will show up on this. But I'm going to bookmark every address in the game and bounce through that. Now, I'm sure you're asking why. I have had times where I have had every possible IP address in the game pinged, and the game will only give me a 367 timer. Yep, 360 seconds. So, and that might be overkill. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, some of them might even watch this, who think, that's more time than you'll ever need. 60 seconds is more time than you'll ever need. But I like to be able to do things at a more leisurely pace. As I'm sure you can tell, because I'm only 4 pages into the tour guide and I'm nearly 15 minutes into the video. In the middle of your screen, you will find the browser where most of your job, Jesus Christ. You do most of your job according to your employer's request. The home screen features bookmark links, as well as ones provided from an employer. When registering as a new user, you'll be required to complete a test mission sent to you by Uplink. to confirm your expertise. You can technically just tell this test mission in the base game to fuck off if you don't do the tutorial, and it screws you over because you don't actually get access to the most basic mission. So you actually have to do this or you soft lock. It's quite funny. Open the email client to view the mission's details. You can find it in the missions tab. First, welcome to Uplink. Your details have been entered into your account. Congratulations, you are now an officially rated Uplink agent. We recommend you complete the Uplink test. Should be Uplink internal services system. Once there, log in and click Help, followed by Getting Started. You can also get there anytime by pressing F1 on your keyboard. Good luck, blah blah blah. Codes included: Uplink internal services system, code name Janus, code mandate. I don't know why mandate. Actually, no, I know why mandate. I was watching a joint Let's Play by Grimmith and Dan Taku on technically Twitch, but I was on YouTube. And Dan Taku kept going on about mandate mayonnaise, and that just got stuck in my head. From Uplink, pay nothing. Subject, test mission, steal data from file. Gain access to the Uplink test machine by breaking the outer security layer. Access the file server and download the target Uplink test data. Remove any traces of your hack. Return the data to us at the address blah 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 Uplink test machine. So basically, just do email, file attachment, blah blah blah. Right. To complete it, you'll need to gain access to the Uplink test machine and download a file. Let's connect to it using the bookmark on your browser's home screen. Right. I think this is actually literally lifted from the original game because that shouldn't be popping up. After reading the introduction, click Start Test. Right. Oh. Never mind, I'm just an idiot. This will be your first opportunity to hack into a real computer system with real defenses made from real lightning. There is no point in trying to hack a real computer system until you can do the Uplink test in your sleep. Jesus Christ, I could do it in someone else's sleep at this point. You'll be traced during your attempts, so remember to monitor the communications lines. However, no action will be taken against you should you be traced. Hint, never connect directly to your target server. Bounce your connection around the world. It will make you harder to track and give you longer to complete your work. And remember that you will leave logs on computers you use as relays, which can be traced back to you. Ideally, your connection to your computer, which allows easy and risk-free, remember this part, log access. There is one. There is one computer in the whole game where the password never changes and the points don't matter. So erase your tracks without fear of punishment. Start the test. Now. Okay, I actually know the password. It never changes. I want to see what this does though. This is a user ID screen. In this case, most of the time as well, we don't have a valid username and password, and so we'll have to hack our way through. For this, you'll need to purchase security software. Click disconnect from the server using the disconnect button. Sorry. The top screen next to the server's name. Now, the username will always be admin for our nefarious purposes. The password for this case will be Rosebud. Does this get... Yep! It gets tracked. Awesome. Wanted to see if that actually happened. Righto. So... The Uplink Internal Services System hosts numerous services for registered agents, including a software store. Connect to it now from your bookmark screen and log in using your username and password. In this case, you'll find it saved to the bottom part of the user ID screen. You can be some fucking weirdo, and I'm just favouring these, so when I do that, and I've got all my banks and stuff pulled up, it's easy to use. You can be a fucking weirdo and punch everything in. I'd give myself a fucking RSI. Wrong account. I'd give myself a fucking RSI if I tried that, though. Alrighto. Janus and Mandate Mayonnaise. Damn you, Dan Taku. Now. Explore service provided here. When you're done, go into app upgrades. Here you can buy or upgrade different security apps and HUD upgrades. The first thing we'll need is the password breaker, which you will find under the crackers section. Never get the dictionary hacker. So, okay, the difference between this. The dictionary hacker checks against pretty much every word in English, which is to say every word loaded in the game that could be a password. But if it is random gibberish, which it so often is, it won't actually pop up. What you want is the password breaker. You know, the problem is, now, actually a big thing, and I'll back out of this in a moment, gateway info. I have a 60 gigahertz CPU with 1 gigaquads, yes, gigaquads, per second of bandwidth, and 24 gigaquads of memory. Now, I just want to point out, you can tell that this was a game made in the 2000s. If 24 gigabytes is mind-blowing. But, oh my god, I would literally commit... I would burn a church to the ground for a gigabyte a second of internet. You can also get a really cute little visual representation of your gateway. But I'll show you what the first thing I'm going to be getting physically for the gateway in a second. Clicking on apps reverse subscription and price. The ability to change the app's version. Yep. And of course the purchase button, purchase password breaker. With the password breaker installed, we can try breaking the uplink test machine, blah blah blah. I'm not going to do that, because the first thing I want to get is the log deleter. Can I afford level 3? No. Okay. So, level 2. The holy grail of this is the level 4 at $4,000. This is basically the second piece of software I'm going to get behind the trace tracker, but the log deleter, this is what saves your ass. This is what lets you commit massive financial fraud. Right. So now before I connect, and I'm just going to have to do me some busy work. Actually, so this is the other reason why this is so good. You will never ever be tracked and traced. So this is the machine I was telling you about that you want to always start your hack with. As you enjoy the sound of me drinking, and we enjoy the light woodwind of the video game, and oh my god, how beautiful is the soundtrack. Right, access logs. Sorry guys, I'm just zooming out for a second. Sorry guys, I just had to poke around with OBS for a second. It was doing something weird. Right, so access logs, you just right click, remove. Previously you'd have to have basically this open, you'd have apps, you'd click on the app and then you'd click on the log, but you don't have to do that now, which is so good. Now you see this as error. There is an item called the log restorer, which you can actually undo the deletion, and if you're charged with hunting a hacker, you will use that to track them down. Now, you're probably wondering why I am opening up all these banks. The reason why is banks and government accounts. Now, these are the important ones. Because there are two kinds of hack. There's the active hack and there's the passive hack. Sorry. Now, the active hack is the hack that is actively tracing you through the network and will find you. The passive hack, however, is someone, after you're done, going through all of the logs and tracing you back. Now, you're always going to want to route through banks and government databases, because while they won't slow down the active hack, it buys you time for the passive hack. Now, if you're good enough, it shouldn't matter. Like I said, the first thing, you'll see me do this 1,001 times. I'm not going to bother the government public access server or the government internal services machine. As far as I'm aware, both of them are practically inaccessible. So the reason why you want to use internet, use the inter NIC is because you actually can't be. So first of all, you're never tracked with it, and just going to turn my earbuds down. Yeah, you're never tracked when you're using it, and you can immediately jump in and edit the logs. The first thing you should always do, doesn't matter if you're just poking around in a system, this is the kind of game where it pays to be absolutely fucking paranoid, is immediately connect to this and delete the logs of your hack, and you're using admin access. I don't know if they can do anything to you because, whatever your fucking account name is, use the admin access, but again, this is a game where paranoia is the oh yeah, Steve Jackson game server. I'll be playing around with that later. Paranoia is what keeps you alive. Always assume that unless you erase all tracks, all evidence you've ever done anything wrong, that it can and will be used against you. Basically, be a lawyer. Right, so just so in case you're wondering, I was pressing B to bookmark all of these. You bastard. And now I'm throwing up favorites on all these. Again, it's just so I have easy access to them. Now, as far as I'm aware, I think there's something you can do with I think there's something you can do to manipulate the stock market. So, for instance, new user name. And just in case any of you are wondering, I will be trying to use as many historical Roman names possible. So yeah, you can buy and sell shares. The only thing I can think of is if you'd find, like... Oops. Who's the most valuable? 56. If I went into ARK and killed all of their systems, that would plummet their stock price to buy it and then wait for it to recover. As far as I'm aware, there's no way to manipulate stocks. I'll be looking that up in the break, but it's certainly something I want to try. Righto. So, now what I want to do. Enter NIC. Now, one thing I also will be trying to do is, and as far as I'm aware, this has no bearing. It just feels like it's proper. I will not be routing through any of the uplink servers. So, not through the uplink test machine, not through the uplink internal services machine. I don't know if... Or the uplink bank, sorry. I don't know if... I mean, as far as I'm aware, there's no consequence to doing it. It just feels more proper. You know, uplink are nominally my facilitators, and you don't piss off the people who facilitate you. Now, in one of them, I thought about it just now, well, while I was explaining the conduct, I guess, of the run. Now, there is something you can do. It's something you wouldn't suspect, and it's very fucking difficult. I'm going to hack uplink. Now, you're probably thinking, that's a fool's errand. Yes, it is. But, and it'll actually help me. This will actually help me with what I want to achieve in this run, which is to say, to steal from the uplink agents and basically analyze how the world burns. Because the one thing in the uplink servers that's worth grabbing is a list of all the agents. Funnily enough, it's almost like some malicious hacker got there first, because you can't get your own data, but you can get the names of every other uplink agent. And in theory, you should be able to find their bank details and crush them. No, didn't collect on the International Social Security database. So you're probably all wondering what I'm doing while I'm waffling about. I am building my connection network. It is a hideous monstrosity, but it serves its purpose. Like I said, this is almost every server in the game. There's central mainframes, there's a few LAN networks that aren't popping up on this, but by and large, this is every server in the game. Now, once you've done all that, you click save. But always make sure that you route first through Internic, because again, the first thing you do, reconnect to that and delete any evidence of wrongdoing. Now, the uplink test machine. And password breaker. All your apps are arranged and easily accessible in the apps menu. In the lower left of the screen, run your freshly installed password breaker. The password breaker is now running. You can move it wherever you want by clicking it and dragging to the desired position. Once you're comfortable, start the hack by pressing its central button. I typically don't move these. Access file server. It was expecting me to get disconnected. Haha, fuck you. Now, I will actually show you what basically is the holy grail of the easiest way to stock manipulate in this game. Oh dear, you've been disconnected. Servers you connect to have active monitoring systems that keep an eye out for suspicious actions. When detecting intrusions, the system will try to find the perpetrator and kick them out. Furthermore, legal action will be taken against them, like a fine or even jail time. Also, by the way, I've got a 60 GHz CPU, and this is taking forever. Actually, it's funny, in the base game, this actually used to be a program. So while you're running the tutorial, it's actually eating up your max CPU, which is kind of bullshit. To combat this, you'll need to know how much time you have. Fortunately, there's a special app designed for this. That's less important. Now, so this is the console. If anyone who's ever had to use... command prompt. We'll know what this is. Now. There's 3 directories you need to deal with. CD user, delete. CD log, so they can't track you, delete. CD sys, delete. And then for the pièce de résistance, shut down. So basically, what I've just done is I've erased any evidence that I was in this machine, and, more importantly, I deleted any files that were on here, and I'm deleting the operating system. So when it shuts down and reboots, and I don't even need to be connected to this anymore, it's going to die, the system won't actually boot and it'll be offline, I think, for 24 hours. Now, enter NIC, admin, Slavonic, and password authentication, and routed. Now, you can delete up to 5 logs at a time, and you can fiddle around with up to 5 files at a time before the system's like, no, you can't do this, Vegeta. Trace tracker, we can make version 2. It's a good starting point for beginners. Why the fuck is there a version 1 then? To run your newly installed app. At the moment, as expected, the tracker does not detect any active traces. A warning system is a step in the right direction, but we also need a way to know that traces are targeting us. We do this by creating a bounce connection. This involves connecting to multiple systems around the globe to connect to the target server. Let's try it out. Yep. And again, I've already done this. Connect. User ID, run trace tracker, continue, access file server, uplink test data. Unlike our oldest, this is done. Nice. Unlike our older versions of the OS, this is done through the context menu. Right-click on the file and select download. The download is now beginning. You can go blah blah blah. The download is finished. Disconnect from this computer. In a real-world scenario, we'd also have to attempt to erase our chats every time you log into a computer compact file. Leave behind access logs. These logs can be used by companies. One thing I actually do like to do is to go through and delete, like if I use file server, delete what I've accessed. So go into logs, access logs, this file, access this file, access this file, access this file, access file server, and delete that. Just again, so it's more difficult to find me what I've done. One final test mission is to send the file back. Click reply to attach. It'd be so funny if I accidentally deleted that email. Congratulations, you have reached the next uplink rating. Your rating is now beginner, and you've earned an entirety of nothing. First, congratulations, you're completing. The second is informing the user uplink rating has gone up. This also brings us to the end of the tutorial. If this is your first time working for Uplink, we'd like to recommend you check out the help section of the internal services machine, or for more information on security systems and what to look out for. Righto. Now, this is a very nice length of a video. I might just quickly pull this up, save, and go to help. Now, hotkeys. Yeah, that's as I remember it. Security systems, gateway computers, getting started. You previously couldn't get that emailed. Sorry, I just wanted to have a look at that. Now, I promised you hardware and gateway. So, oh yes, I am number 60 of all this. You actually start seeing a lot of these people die as the game goes on. Like, they just start saying deceased or inactive. It's a little spooky. So, hardware upgrades. Now, the first thing I'm buying for 12 Gs, which is actually not a lot of money, is the 200 gigahertz CPU. Mostly just so that my programs run faster. Now, you buy... Your memories are in 8 gigabyte gigaquad blocks. So technically, if you're buying 32, you're actually buying 4 of these. So for some, you just need to work out. In my opinion, the best modem you can get is the 8 gigaquads, because the best computer you can set that up with is actually not that great. And now these are the monitoring system and self-destruct system. Now the gateway upgrades. So this is what we've got. Now these are technically the next two. Now, an extra CPU is probably useful. An extra 32 gigaquads of data is not useful. Although that extra 1 gigaquad a second bandwidth is pretty good. But This is the one we've got, by the way. This is the one I'm going for, the first computer. It's bigger than either of these two. It has the same bandwidth as this one, and it has the same CPU as this one. It's just a frankly better machine than all three of these. And at it's only $5,000 more than either of these, so it's not that big of a step. Now, this, as far as I'm aware, is the only machine that can have a 10 gigaquad modem, as opposed to this, which is an 8 gigaquad modem. But this has more memory. This has 5 more CPUs. If I've got 8 to 100 gigahertz CPUs installed, my systems are going to be running so much faster. And then there's these other ones as well I haven't really looked into them. So obviously it'd be Gateway Alpha, Gateway Beta, Kronos, and then it looks like it's a pretty linear increase. From there, I'd probably immediately jump to the Trinity, just because it's not really worth going down 2 gigahertz. Because here's the thing, if I've got a 6 gigahertz modem, and I go to a 4 gigahertz modem computer, it just knocks me down to a 1 gigahertz modem, or gigaquad modem, so not useful. Anyway, this has been the first episode of Uplink. I will show you my pro strats for fun and profit. Which is to say mass spamming of missions, but anyway. I've been Ostentatious Listeners, hopefully you've all still been you. And remember everyone, stay crunchy and milk. Bye-bye.